bro, this was peak Mbappe. This is the guy we know and love, and honestly, it feels right to me. Like I respect Vinicius, but seeing Mbappe become the primary source of goals and threat on this team, it feels right to me. And I think Florentino might agree. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is your midweek review / weekend preview / Champions League edition. This is your host, Dean, and I am here with Coach. What's going on, Coach? How you doing?
Doing good, baby. We're doing good.
Yeah, so this is our first run-through of the Champions League playoff round. We didn't cover the first legs last week, but we now know who is going through to the actual knockouts, the actual adult game. And there's only one place to start with the glamour tie of this round of fixtures, and that would be Real Madrid eliminating Manchester City as 115 FC's season from hell continues to our great amusement. 3-1 in this game, a hat-trick from Kylian Mbappe, 6-3 on aggregate. What did you see in the second leg? What did you see in the overall tie? Any surprises about how this played out?
No, to be honest. City are bad. And not bad in a way that's, they just don't know what they're doing out of ideas. They're bad in the fact that the team isn't optimized this season for the requirements. So they're obviously going to still finish the Champions League places. But every time they've come up against a good team this season, they've looked like a level or two below. Physically, technically. And it's weird to say that technically as well, because you know what Pep teams are like, but they just look off the mark. So, yeah. I mean, I tweeted earlier that it's just fun seeing teams that realize they don't actually have to out-football City. They can just run past them. And football's a simple game like that. You take the shortest route to success wherever you can. And seeing Bellingham just run past the new midfielder or Bernardo Silva or Foden, it's like, yeah, he's going to do that all game. Like, you know, the same thing with Tchouaméni as well. I'm just going to body you guys because you guys cannot get around me, can't get near me. And when you guys have the ball, we're quicker than you, stronger than you. So yeah, just give it back to us, basically.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not going to say I thought City could recover the tie after they lost at home with that last minute goal from Bellingham, but I thought to myself, well, based on the way this Nico kid played over the weekend against Newcastle, maybe City will give us a better showing. Maybe they'll make this a bit of a battle. And honestly, they didn't show up today. No. And I hate to admit this because I'm one of the few people that doesn't really rate Haaland like that because I like my footballers to play football, you know. But they really missed him. They really missed him. Today. I think this was a situation where if they were going to salvage anything from this game, it was going to be from them playing directly like they did against Newcastle over the weekend. And they just didn't really have the capacity to do that. They use Omar Marmoush as a bit of their target man, and he just doesn't, as good as he's going to be for them, he doesn't have the presence to do what they needed him to do today. So if it was him, and what are the other options on the pitch? Phil Foden? That coward?
No.
Like, you know, let's have a quick detour on him. Not too hard, but I just feel like if you're getting awards like PFA Player of the Year and people are insisting that the national team should be built around you, that you should be producing more in a moment like this. Like, I'm not saying he needs to, be winning games for them, but he was anonymous today. I didn't even know he was on the pitch until they were subbing him off.
Well, here's the thing. His biggest contribution to the game was letting Mbappe go past him for his hat-trick. So, yeah. I mean, shout out to him for being in a defensive position. That's good work for the team, I suppose, but you half-hearted it. You could have two-footed him, bro. You know what I mean? Like, actually, no, you couldn't have. Mbappe's too good. But you're right. He needs to be doing more, and I think he looks really lost. Like, he's been given, last season he was given the keys, granted it was really Rodri doing all the work, if we're being honest, and he was, look, I'll give him credit. Talented player, supreme technically, but he's fair weather. Every single conditions he's had under City are just perfect and they're fair weather. There's never been any hardship. Ever. There's never, ever been any hardship. Man, at the first moment, he's 24, 25 now? At the first moment of the team going through some shit, which other teams should, if things were fair and normal, he would have had a lot more of this earlier in his career kind of thing. Like, he just looks lost at sea. And I sound like a broken record, but it's just the facts. We're going to see more of these performances as long as City stay bad, because he's not the one to drag them out of this mess. when you've got other good big players to help you, Foden is one of the best players in the world when he's part of the supporting cast, when he's not relied upon. Now he's relied upon, he looks like anybody else. And the really good players, the really top 1% of the 1% players, they shine regardless of conditions. They will show you something. They will absolutely show you something. So, yeah.
And that's a perfect segue because Kylian Mbappe, everyone talked their little shit earlier in the season. Everyone acted as if it doesn't take. No, not on this podcast. We're serious people here. Unfortunately, we're serious. We don't do the hot takes enough. We should do more hot takes, I think, Coach. But that's for later. But I don't know if this quote is correct, but a quote came out after the game where he was like, "The adjustment period is over. It's time for me to start making shit happen." Essentially, is what he said, and he made shit happen today. I mean, a fantastic hat trick, and like not only was it a fantastic hat trick, it was an aesthetically pleasing hat trick. These were goals that embarrassed people, that made people question their career choices, that made Ruben Diaz wonder, "Am I spending too much time on neck day at the gym?" Because I couldn't turn my head quickly enough to stop this man when the long ball was going over my head. From Asensio. He sent Guardiola back to fucking Zagreb. Bro, this was peak Mbappe. This is the guy we know and love. And honestly, it feels right to me. Like, I respect Vinicius, but seeing Mbappe become the primary source of goals and threat on this team, it feels right to me. And I think Florentino might agree.
Yeah. I mean, everything you said there is pretty much what most people that know Mbappe, that know how these things sort of go, would have expected. I mean, there's been lots of talk about him not, quite hitting the height. It's not looking great, whatever. All of this shit was happening, and people were talking shit while he was on like 19, 20 goals. Guys, right now he's on 28 goals. Mbappe will score. I back Mbappe to score 12 more goals this season, minimum. I back him to score 12 more goals this season, guys. Well, I'm being conservative here, but if Mbappe in his first season at Real Madrid, he spent half of it apparently adapting, and he gets 40 goals, guys. Physical peak years between 27 to 29. I'm scared. I'm already scared. I'm terrified, to be honest, but I'm already scared. I know what he is. The comparisons between him and Haaland, disgraceful. Comparisons between him and Dembele being amazing this season and putting shit together. The gap to me might have even widened, to be honest. As great as Dembele's been, like Mbappe is that dude, bro.
I think so. Now I'm thinking we have. I'm gonna list, I think, 5 valid candidates for the Ballon d'Or. I don't particularly care about individual awards, but this is our sport and we talk about this stuff. But I would say Dembele is in the mix. Rafinha from Barcelona is in the mix. Mbappe is officially in the mix now after this performance. Salah is definitely in the mix. And I think it's basically going to boil down to who has the best team success, because the statistics for all these guys are fantastic. And odds are, if I'm putting my money on someone right now, I think it's probably time to put it on Mbappe.
He plays Real Madrid, so you know what that means.
Because odds are they're going to win something. Liverpool, we'll see what they do. We'll get to them in a little bit. Anything else from this tie you want to get to?
Just a little technical or tactical thing here. Mbappe and Vinicius kept on making the exact same and identical run together at the same time. Like they're standing on top of each other. And it was hilarious because one would come short when the ball would come to him. The other one would start in behind. And whatever choice the defender makes, they're fucked either way. If they back off, you're backing off Mbappe and Vinicius. And if you go to Mbappe or Vinicius, whichever one thing is, gets the ball, you're trying to close them, one of like the 2 most explosive players in the world. So how's that going to go for you? So really, really pleased to see that they're finding some sort of chemistry there, and that's a move they're going to be pulling a lot.
I think as long as egos don't get in the way, it's going to be a problem for everybody else.
I mean, I saw Mbappe popping up on the right hand side, like doing shit for the team. Like his third goal came from popping on the right hand side. Oh man, I hate this shit, man.
it's long for everybody else right now.
It's
long,
what a long day, man.
Like I don't. We talked about it, but I don't think we actually ever doubted Carlo. But at some point, they were going to figure it out. Good players figure out how to play together. Put it that way. I'm not even sure they needed a manager to sort that out for them. But it's looking good for Real Madrid per usual in their tournaments. On to the next game. Milan won. Feyenoord won. 1-2 on aggregate. So that means Feyenoord went through. Coach, I think the story of this tie is essentially Theo Hernandez. There's no other place to start. Like, this was in total control.
Mm-hmm.
They had the lead from the first minute thanks to a guy that they bought from Feyenoord over the Christmas break in Santi Jimenez. Good player so far for them. 2 goals in Serie A, 1 here in the Champions League, paying his transfer fee back pretty quickly. But then Theo Hernandez on a yellow card decides to dive. The ref makes an excellent call because it was a dive. Red card, and the game turns from that point. And honestly, when I say the game turns, it's not as if Feyenoord really like put the beats on Milan like that. They just controlled enough of the game to get what they needed to get, and that was it.
Facts. I know we want to speak at Theo Hernandez, but really, like, we got to talk about Rafael, man. Yeah.
we got to talk about Milan's left side.
No, exactly. Milan's left side at one point was one of the best around. Hands down, it was one of the best around. Like, they both like worked with each other so well. Like, they were the primary creators, and they were just really fucking good together. And all of a sudden now, Rafael is the sort of player that he'll probably end up. I reckon he's probably gonna like end up in Saudi. To me, the hunger doesn't look there. That doesn't look like it's there anymore. Like, genuinely.
Honestly, I don't think it ever really was.
Yeah, exactly. And that's an issue if you're a relatively young player. What is he, 26 now? 25, 26 now?
He's at the point where I don't think he's probably going to see his contract out of Milan. Yeah. I don't think any team that has aspirations to win serious trophies is going to go for him.
Yeah.
Because it's probably too late. I mean, sporting careers are short. You're basically at the beginning or right in the middle of your peak. And people are still wondering if you're ever going to have the right attitude to be a killer in the game, given the talent you have. Like, it's too late, man. Like, I'm not taking the risk of spending 70, 80, 90 million on you to try to teach you how to be a killer. Like, if you either got it or you don't, and he doesn't. And I actually admire his outlook on life. I think his, because he always smiles on the pitch, and people have asked him, like, why do you smile? And he's like, yeah, I remember where I came from. I remember people I was around, like, people got nothing. Like, I'm out here living this great life, playing a game for fun. I get all that. But then there's another level after that if you want to be the best. And I just don't think he's wired to do it. And that's okay. Not everybody has to be, Kylian Mbappe or whatever, So, but it cost him in this game for sure. Because, I mean, there were moments in this game, which we see in every game with Rafa Leao, cool highlight, nutmeg the motherfucker. Yeah. Then somehow the guy catches up to him because he didn't make a decision quickly enough. Or he didn't take advantage of the advantage he had created. He allowed that advantage to dissipate, And now you have a nigga that was playing in MLS last year, in Julian Carranza, scoring the goal that knocks Milan, the mighty Milan, out of Europe. Because Rafa Leao can't take football seriously and Theo Hernandez is a moron. It's sad.
I think just on Leao, that's one more thing. I think there's an issue with me when you're 6'2", you're quick as hell, you've got amazing feet, you strike the ball well off both feet. If you're building a player kind of thing, especially a forward, Rafael Leao is pretty much as close to what you want, genuinely. And he's black, of course. but like, you have all of those attributes, and then you talk about the final bits, the mentality part. Because what makes Mbappe great is, he's got great physical attributes and he's technically just out of this world kind of thing. But the guy's a fucking weirdo. Like, and he might be insecure. I'm not saying but he might be insecure because he might be thinking, I've got a chip on my shoulder, I've got to prove myself over and over again. Rafael pretty much doesn't feel like, and it's cool. In life, it's cool to have that attitude where it's like, let them say what they want about me, kind of thing. It's cool, it is what it is. But when you're on a football pitch and there's 10 other players you're kind of responsible for because you're like the best player, that attitude for me doesn't cut it. Like, you need to be insecure. You need to be constantly trying to prove yourself. That's what gets you. That's what gets you to the next level. To me, at least. So yeah,
it is what it is. But the good thing about this result is that Sergio Conceição is sad, and that makes me happy.
It's that fucking bitch, man. Yeah, get him out, man.
Benfica 3, Monaco 3. 4-3 on aggregate to the host, Benfica. Probably the most entertaining 2 games across this playoff round. I think the story of this one is, Pavlidis, the striker for Benfica, fantastic footballer. I hope I get to see him at a different level at some point, but strikers from the Portuguese league, it's tricky. That said, he's been great in the Champions League. He gave Barcelona problems a couple weeks ago. We saw that. But the main story from this tie for me is that Monaco are a young team, and young teams are naive.
Yeah.
You don't go away from home in any competition and score 3 goals and not get the results you need to advance.
Mm-hmm.
That's. I mean, they were at 3-3 in the 84th minute of this game.
Yeah.
And they still didn't go through.
That's what was like bothering me more than anything. It was the fact that they seem to be in relative control in terms of just making sure, if they need to go up another level and score again, it seemed that they could. And then all of that sort of surrendered, just went in a split second almost kind of thing. And then that's what you get with young teams. Like you're like literally one day you're here. Sorry, let me say 1 minute you're here, the next minute you're here. With young teams, it's the price you play.
Yeah, and when you look at the goals they conceded, it was a lot of dumbass mistakes. Like I think there were like 2 penalties in the bunch.
Yeah.
A defender failing to control a pass to his feet and getting robbed of the ball. Just dumb mistakes, errors, just dumb shit that you'd expect a veteran team to not just commit, unless it's Dortmund, but we'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, good tie. We get to see Angel Di Maria for longer, which I'm never mad at. Even though he didn't play in this tie, I'm not sure he's actually even healthy right now, but there's a chance I'll see him again, and that makes me happy.
He came on against Barcelona, I remember that. But
okay.
I'm never ever gonna say no to El Fidel, not in a million years. Keep going, man. If Modric is still going, you have no right to give up, sir.
Hell yeah. Like you do not have our permission to die yet.
No, exactly.
Stay with us. On to, I guess we're gonna call this a shock result of the round, but sure, let's call it that. Atalanta 1, Club Brugge 3, 2-5 on aggregate. I got to be honest with you, Coach. I know Atalanta have run out of gas. We cover Serie A every week. We've seen Gasperini's team kind of slow down. Ademola Lookman was injured for like most of the last month, I think, and the team clearly suffered for that. But I didn't think this would happen. I didn't see this coming.
I thought they'd have enough for them, but I think this second leg, it was. I never saw them concede 3 at home to Club Brugge in the Champions League. That just, Considering how well they were doing, I'd say their first 5-6 games of the league phase as well. Even in fact, their first 6-7 games of the league phase, they were in control. They were doing their thing. They were fine, and then all of a sudden they come up against Club Brugge, and it's like it all goes to pieces. That's what it was. They were 3-0 down in the first half at home. If that's not collapse, I don't know what it is. And some of these goals were ridiculous as well. The first goal, he set himself and volleyed it.
That Jude Law boy, man. I'm sure he has some places in his future, but I think this game was one of those sliding doors moments type games, because I think right before Club Brugge scored their first goal, I think there was a sequence of play where Atalanta hit the post twice at the other end. And the ball goes back the other way, and they score a golazo, and I think they just mentally collapsed. And the mental collapse for me, we're skipping some stuff, but it's encapsulated by the way the captain and manager responded after the game.
Yeah.
Or not after the game. Captain, at the end of the game, he assaulted somebody basically because why?
Well, put it like this. I've been there before, and I don't condone violence, but sometimes, trust me when I say this, when your head goes, not only do you not care, you're almost hoping that the other person responds so you can keep going. And that's all it is. Like your head is so fried that any violence being enacted is what you want. You want to just keep this shit going. And the fact that he missed his first attempt confirms to me that he just didn't care at that point. He just needed someone to feel something.
Right. I'm gonna tell you like this, this moment of madness might be more memorable than Lookman's hat trick from the UEFA Cup. Because I'm gonna remember this shit forever. The Lookman shit, I'm moving on from that. I'm moving on, because Gasperini ruined it for me by basically singling a player out, just in general. I don't really.
That's Mourinho shit right there.
It was just wrong. It was just wrong. And the sad part about it is that, I frequent areas of the internet I probably shouldn't spend too much time in, but a lot of fans in Serie A say this is the way Gasperini has always been, actually. This is not a new theme for him. When things go bad, he will lose his head and fall out with one of his players because he knows that he's the big cheese at Atalanta and they will never fire him. And that's why that sort of attitude is why he couldn't make it when he went to Inter. He went to Inter and he basically failed there because he has to be the big guy in the room, essentially. And for him to pick on a player that I'm pretty sure Ademola Lookman isn't fully healthy right now.
No, I don't
They
think
were
so either.
they were probably trying to get him
But
ready
he
for this
scored the
tie.
goal yesterday as
Yeah.
well.
He came on, scored the goal. Then he took responsibility for a penalty, according to him in his Instagram message afterwards.
That was passed over to him by the actual penalty taker as well.
Correct. Then you shit all over him. Like,
Yeah.
he literally won you the only trophy in your career. Like, can you at least respect that fact and keep your counsel for a little bit? But I don't know. That's disappointing, because I think Gasperini is one of the more likable managerial characters in the game. And
no, not anymore for me, man.
Not anymore. Not anymore. He definitely lost us on that one. But yeah, Atalanta, like Milan, are gone, so Serie A, fraud watch.
Yeah, there's literally only one Italian team left.
And they were not in this round of games, So if Inter was playing in this round of games based on their recent results, they probably lose too. Like dead ass. Bayern won, Celtic won. 3-2 on Argygate. This, for me, Coach, was actually kind of the real shock of the round because I didn't expect it to be this close.
No. I mean, I'm always watching Celtic games to see them concede 6 or 7 goals in the Champions League. Like that's my idea of a fun, Tuesday or Wednesday evening. Call me sad, whatever.
That's hate watch.
Yeah, it's not even a hate watch. It's just how people have like their comfort films. Like my comfort, I have loads of them, but Terminator 2, Happy Gilmore, shit like that. Like those are my comfort films.
The Big Lebowski for me.
Yeah, but you get what I mean. Watching Celtic on any given year in the Champions League on a Wednesday or Tuesday night get absolutely hammered. That shit is comforting for me. It's just it feels like home. It feels like my youth. You know what I mean? And I was really pissed off that. But shout out to Celtic. Shout out to Celtic.
They were this close.
Yeah,
this close. Because I think if that goes to penalties, I'm probably still back in Bayern. They're at home. They have Manuel Neuer, and Manuel Neuer ain't Manuel Neuer no more, but he's still Manuel Neuer. So there's that. But they really played well. They probably deserved the result. They ended up not getting in that game because Bayern didn't do much. They looked a lot like they looked against Leverkusen over the weekend, where they weren't just creating a lot. They just had the ball because they were a better quality team, but they weren't really creating a whole lot. Company tried to walk on the field and slipped on some. I'll leave that alone. He looked ridiculous, though. It was hilarious. And because it's a brother that made the difference, we got to shout out Alphonso Davies. It took forever to renew that contract. And basically, based on the 11 million euros they're going to get from this result, he's basically paid off half the contract already.
Yeah,
so I guess it was worth it for them. That said, how are you feeling about them moving forward in this tournament?
They're gonna get beat, man. Like Company, to me, I've seen enough to know that Company is gonna win Bundesliga based on the quality of his players. I think, and that's no disrespect. Like you still have to go out there and coach the team every single day. I get all of that, but
Thomas Tuchel fucked it up. So
yeah, exactly. Thomas Tuchel, man. Well, I think that was more. Yeah. Actually, he did fuck it up actually. But to be fair. Yeah, I'm not going to shit on Company too much, but I do think he meets a team that's well coached, that has the quality to punish them, i.e. an Arsenal, or let's say an Inter or something like that. I reckon they get beat. I do. I really do. So, yeah, go on.
The weird thing is that I think their squad, no matter what holes you think it might have, I think it's still good enough to win with the right tactical approach. I just think he's not doing the right things.
No, and I mean, I get it. The Kimmich thing, even though I over egg it sometimes. Yeah, he can play in midfield, and it's fine. It's fine for, I want to say, 90% of games and shit, because Bayern are just better all over the pitch than most teams. But I want to see Kimmich try to run away from Declan Rice. That's what I want to see. Like, try it. Let's just see what happens.
I want to see Kimmich try to catch Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see that. So, yeah. Just put fucking Conrad Lima there. Just humble yourself. Put Lima there, bro. Like,
put Lima there.
It won't kill you.
Bring that Portuguese policeman in. Palinha. Like, y'all don't use him at all. He is a terrorist of the highest order. Trust me,
man.
That's Martin Odegaard. His kids are half Portuguese because of this nigga, man. I promise. Like, bring him in. He can help you, Bayern.
Yeah, like put it like this year. I'm not like they're gonna be creative. They've got Alphonso Davies at left back. If you put Kimmich right back as well, you've got again a bunch of creativity there. If you put 2 absolute dogs in midfield in front of your defense, I know it's not the Bayern way. I'm not being funny. That front 4 can score against anyone, multiple goals. Like, it's not even an issue. Whoever you want to put there. Musiala and Kane obviously are bona fide starters. Koeman, to me, probably has earned his right to start in the biggest games. And Elise. You telling me that front four it doesn't strike fear into? Come on, man. Let's be serious here. Like, let's actually just play football properly.
Honestly, like this is one of those situations where like we all grew up. Those of us that care about tactics a little bit, we all learned that a broken team is not a good idea. But in this era of the game where we're just bypassing midfield because of all this man-to-man pressing, just put some. If you don't have a functional midfield, just put some good gate men there, and go direct. Just go direct, and you'll be fine. But the way this whole 2-2-6 build-up shit they're doing, it's not going to hack it. It's not going to hack it. Yeah. Let's move on to the other German team in this round. Dortmund 0, Sporting 0. Not much to report from the second leg of this game. The work was done in the first leg. 3-0 on aggregate. This one was over before it started. Dortmund even could afford to miss a penalty. Grassi, I don't know that it was a bad penalty, but he missed it, so it's a bad penalty. So there's that. But Sporting didn't really offer much. A very kind Sporting fan that listens to the pod kind of gave us the skinny on why Sporting looked so toothless in this game. And apparently a lot of it has to do with their playmaker, Pote, not being available. And if he's not around, apparently there's really no one to feed Gyökeres on a consistent basis. So it was the first game today. It was the early game of the games, and it was actually kind of a waste of time. I wish I didn't watch it because it just nothing really happened. Besides,
shout out to Nick Mudo.
Nick, is it Nick Mudo or Nick Mundo?
It's Mudo. Well, I can see
all right. Just trying to soccer it up and shit, man. Yeah, Dortmund through. PSG 7, Brest 0, 10-0 in aggregate. Whew, them titties got pressed, boy. I don't know what else to say. I mean, like, what insight are we taking of this, coach?
I really like this PSG side, man. Like, before we got there, me and Dean were talking about who's genuinely the bona fide star of this team, and obviously we're gonna say it's Dembele, but attackers are obviously just better than defenders. But then you've got Marquinhos there as well. But you got Kvaratskhelia as well, and you got Barcola.
Well, the actual best player there is Vitinha.
Yeah, of course. but you get what I'm saying. Like, there's such
not a star. He's not a star.
You know what I'm saying? But you've got a good mix of just everyone is just really fucking good at football, man. Seriously,
just like honest professionals with a coach that'll keep people accountable.
Yeah, like he'll make sure you run in it. Like,
remember when he was beefing Dembele a couple months ago.
And Dembele now. Yeah, exactly. And I think that helps Dembele. I feel like it was almost like not a last chance saloon, but it was almost like oh shit, like I've been challenged here and this coach isn't giving up on me. Let's fucking go. Like, let me just and and the most important thing, he stayed healthy. Like he stayed healthy. So with Dembele, you're always going to get quality, even though his end product can be a bit funny, but it's always come at a price that he might have 1 or 2 good games and he's injured, kind of thing. And he's just stayed healthy. And the run of form has shown that this is what it looks like when he's healthy and when he's confident and when he's got a team around him, kind of thing. And he's hit his physical peak as well. He's 27 now, so it's quite literally now is go time for Dembele. So I'm happy for him genuinely.
Yeah, I mean, like, the best decision he ever made in his life was leaving Barcelona.
Facts. Facts. They treated him like shit, man. So
yeah. PSV 3, Juventus 1. Juventus fucked off the advantage they'd gained in the first leg. They were probably feeling themselves after accidentally beating my Inter over the weekend. And that is a third Italian team out of the Champions League, coach. Yeah. Tosin isn't here to defend the league he loves so much, but can we go more holistic before we start shitting on Juve? Like, what does this say about Italy?
To be honest, I still think there's a lot of strong teams in Italy, but because of the way it's happened, and it's like all of these teams have gone out literally with a whimper, it just looks away. If these teams, like, if those 2 teams that were in the top 8, for example, and then the other 2 teams, like, they had really tough draws. Milan, should they have beat Feyenoord? Yeah,
hell yeah.
Yeah,
Feyenoord literally lost their captain the day before the game. They lost Quentin Timber.
Yeah,
Feyenoord sold you their best attacker over the winter break. The guy even scored against you, against Feyenoord, and you guys still fucked off that game. They should have won this tie.
Exactly, but again, should Juventus have won this tie? I think so, but again, especially with the form that Colin Mawani was in. But again, this is what I'm saying. Like, these are teams that you think they should be beaten. So is it a freak result? Are these freak results? I don't know. But when you just look at it from 3 teams are in the playoffs kind of thing, it's almost like there's too much evidence here to suggest that potentially is a fluke. I mean, the champions are the only team that made it through.
And that's only because they weren't in this round.
Yeah.
Because like I said a little earlier, I'm an Inter guy.
Yeah.
But the way we've looked in recent weeks, if they were playing in this round, they probably lose just based on current form, to whoever they were playing, because again, Atalanta should have beat Club Brugge. Milan should have beat Feyenoord. And Juventus, once they took the lead in this tie, I'd expect them to close it out. I mean, like, PSV are good, but they're not, And it's the Dutch league. When was the last? I mean, we haven't had a great team from the Dutch league in Europe since that young Ajax team that Erik ten Hag coached. Like 5-7 years ago at this point, is it now? Like all the motherfuckers retiring already.
I mean, the last knockout game that PSV won was against Arsenal. Or knockout tie was against Arsenal in 2007. 2007.
Juventus should have done something here. But to the detail of you know what? There's really nothing to say really. Like what's the detail here? Yeah. Juventus basically they had the advantage and they got rid of it. And now
they both created chances. I mean, Vlahovic hit the post late on as well. They both had chances. But this is, I know Juventus have, had to change their approach a bit after they become Draw FC and shit. But this was, to me, to my recollection of what I've seen from Juventus, this is the most open and expansive they've looked all season.
Right. And this is maybe the moment when they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
If you have to lead in the first leg, just go full Allegri terrorist ball and see it out. Then you can do the whole Colomwani pirouette in front of the defense thing in the next round.
Yeah.
After you've made 11 million more euros. But oh well. I do hope they keep Thiago Motta though. Like just from a general footballing fan standpoint, I do think he's a very talented manager. But this is a kind of result that, in Italy I mean, as far as firing motherfuckers go, they're the best at it. So I'm actually shocked that we haven't learned that he's fired already. But I'm rooting for him. That is us done for the Champions League. And the next time we talk about this tournament, it will be the big boys facing each other in very big ties that are knockouts. It's going to be great. I'm excited.
I mean, the draw is on Friday. I'm thinking, should we do like an Insta Live reaction and just
Hey man, if you can do whatever you want, I have a job.
The time it's gonna happen, I'm pretty sure you guys will still be in bed. So it's always around like midday and shit. I might be at the mosque.
There you go. So don't make no promises you can't keep.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by you.
I started the show by calling it the midweek review, weekend preview, Champions League review, because a lot of shit was happening. And in the Premier League, Aston Villa hosted Liverpool. And I guess at one point this would have been like a top of the table type clash, but it's really not because Aston Villa have fallen off of the past couple months.
They're like 8th or 9th now.
Yeah, which is crazy. And Liverpool are still top of the table, but this one ended 2-2. So I guess generically, I'll just ask you, and keep in mind, as coach responds to this, he is an Arsenal fan, if you didn't know that already. And he has a vested interest. Yes, you, nigga. He has a vested interest in Liverpool's failure. But that said, if you're a Liverpool fan, put yourself in the Liverpool fan's shoes. Are you viewing 2-2 away at Villa? Hey, up the Gooners. 2-2 away at Villa as drop points, a good result, or both?
Depending on, what sort of alcohol you like to consume, it can be all of those. But I think the key thing here is momentum and genuine sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Momentum is probably the key word here, but just feeling of the season. And now's not the time of the season where you want to start looking shaky. Yeah. Regardless of how many, unless you're like 15 points ahead, 12, 15 points ahead, a draw here, a draw there kind of thing, it won't do too much kind of thing. But if it's single digits, if a single digit lead and, the other team has got a lot of home games to come, then you start looking over your shoulder a little bit. Technically, now, obviously Arsenal have to do the business. Arsenal could be 5 points behind them before they play City away. And then, Arsenal now have a game in hand over them. So now it gets a little bit, now we're thinking
squeaky bum time.
Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very, very important that Liverpool in general, like if they want to win the league, they pretty much have to crush Arsenal's confidence with their own results. And I think performances as well. Like if Liverpool are looking completely and utterly like unstoppable. Like, they're winning games 3-0, 4-0. They're not giving up chances. And here's a key thing: Liverpool are giving up a bunch of chances.
But they've been doing that all season, Coach.
This is what I'm saying. But it's like this half of the season now, it seems as if they're getting punished now. Everton against Wolves, they probably should have. They got away with a draw with that win. Could have been a draw. Today they didn't quite get away with it. Aston Villa created so many chances in added time alone. Do you know what I mean? Like, Rashford, I get it was a hard chance. Rashford had a chance at 2-1 kind of thing, where Alisson's obviously missed the ball. The ball goes to 3-1. I'm not being funny. Liverpool chasing the game with Trent leaving all that space in behind. I'm not being funny. Rashford, is a counter-attacking machine, so it looks a little bit sticky there. So I'm not willing bad. Actually, I am willing badness in Liverpool. Let me not lie.
Yeah, but own it, bro.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I think we actually do have a title race now. Is what I'm saying. I think it's there, and yeah, let's just see how it goes. Liverpool fans, I wouldn't start panicking yet, but you can't think it's a foregone conclusion. And for the Arsenal fans, I'd say let's just keep doing our thing. Let's just see where it takes us.
Well said. I don't have anything else to add because I would just say some hater ass shit. There are some games this weekend that we would recommend that you folks watch. Most of them happen to be in the Premier League, mainly because that's just the way the schedule broke. We checked everywhere else too. As Coach mentioned a little earlier, Man City hosts Liverpool. Man City are not great, but Liverpool are lacking the momentum that they had prior in the season. So this could be a tricky one for them, I think. Newcastle hosts Nottingham Forest. Never thought we'd be mentioning this as one of the big games to watch in the weekend, but it's really nice to see how the game evolves in every new season, and I love it. I love it.
I mean that those two teams play each other. They pretty much represent modern football, if I'm being honest. Like,
I'm gonna call this one like the PGMO derby or some shit, man. Because I feel like every PGMO person that's not getting paid by City is a fan of either one of these teams.
Pretty much.
Aston Villa hosts Chelsea. We'll see if Unai can take the momentum from what is, I would say, a decent point for Villa against Liverpool, and got one over Chelsea, who are supposed to be good but have been terrible in the last couple of weeks. Real Madrid hosts Girona. I was reaching here. There's just not a whole lot of competitive fixtures in La Liga this weekend, but Girona was once in the Champions League, so there's that. And in the big game from Germany this weekend, Bayern hosts Frankfurt. They will not have Harry Kane, but Frankfurt will have my boy, Hugo Ekitike. So we shall see who the real nine is this weekend. Anything else for these people, Coach?
No, just keep liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting and shit. I see you guys commenting on the United shit. I get United get big clicks for everyone and shit. But yeah, comment and let's discuss on shit on everything, innit? Like let's talk on it, you know what I mean?
No,
so,
man, you got to understand, man. United fans have very addictive personalities. They were once addicted to winning, and now they're addicted to something else. And I understand if you guys don't want to talk to people who are happy, because that's what the rest of us are. But,
pretty much.
but know that we're happy because you niggas are sad. So comment or don't comment. Fuck y'all. But we love you deeply. Thank you for joining us on this midweek episode of the Shirtless Plantain Show, and we will catch you on the next one. Let's tell the people, Coach.
Peace.
Hey, folks, this is Dean from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.